This week, in a high-profile legal case, Prince Harry lost his attempt to hire the Metropolitan Police Force. The argument was clear. The police are not for sale for the private security of individuals. Well, with that verdict fresh in my mind, I cannot help but feel troubled by something because, while it might be true read the money, I cannot help but feel that there is a group right now who are indeed using the police as some kind of de facto private security. I refer, of course, to the mollycoddling of the Just Stop Oil protesters, people who, for about a year now, have been causing severe disruption to folk who are just desperate to go about their daily business. Day after day now, people are prevented from going to work, getting to hospitals, or just even going to pick up their kids. Have a look at this, for example, this frankly outrageous scene at the Old Kent Road, yep, the one from the Monopoly board, in London today.
That's all right. Yeah, but it does have a hospital on it, and you guys just Yes.
Okay, I don't believe that's the case.
He needs to go.
Wait, Weasel!
He needs to go, because what's happening is
Sir.
not right.
Yeah, you see you said
Yeah.
Get out of the way! You're a joke!
Yeah, you did hear and see that right. The police officer goes up to the protester and explains that a driver needed to get through because he had an urgent hospital appointment. As you just heard then, the protester declares, well, I don't believe that that is the case, and refused to move. Of course, the police officer did absolutely nothing. And then what you've just seen then is the very understandably frustrated driver mounting the pavement, which, by the way, was chocker full of pedestrians, and then off he goes. Frankly, I personally think it was a miracle that nobody was hurt. Now, much of this concerns me, but not least the fact that this protester believes that he somehow has this weird ability, almost entitlement, to almost try and play God to decide who indeed is ill and who should be able to access healthcare. The arrogance of this fella, to me, truly knows no bounds. And, by the way, I do not condone the actions of the driver, but I do understand them. Because now members of the public are being pushed to the absolute limit by the selfish, self-absorbed, workshy eco-terrorists. You will be familiar, I'm sure, with this scene that I'm playing out on the screen, the workman who was arrested just this week for pushing protesters out of the road. You guessed it, the police immediately rounded on him with what I would say was way more force than was necessary or used in the first place. Now, surely it's clear to all that can see that the police these days seem more concerned with protecting and facilitating this eco-terrorism than they do much else, on the side of the disruptors rather than the disrupted. But you see, in this country, we have the noble concept of policing by consent. The common consent of the public to being policed is key. But the longer that this eco-terrorism is allowed to take place, and I would argue facilitated, I worry that we're going to see people trying to police the situation themselves. And I worry that somebody soon is going to get seriously hurt or worse. And when that happens, if you ask me, the police bosses will have blood on their hands.